Tonight, a Lubbock family is remembering their loved one who was killed in a shooting Sunday. They say gun violence is not the answer, and it took him from them too soon.
KCBD News Channel 11's Patricia Perez shows us the impact he left.
We love you, Gomesindo.
Gold and black balloons in the sky.
That was his color. He lived and breathed gold and black.
That was the sight from the balloon release in memory of 24-year-old Gomesindo Perez. He was killed in a shooting on 45th Street and Rayleigh Avenue Sunday at 2:30 in the morning. The mother of his children, April Martinez, says he was a family man.
He was a good dad, a great friend, great uncle, great nephew, great grandson.
Thursday night, that family he loved gathered to release the balloons, saying they will carry on his legacy. Among those at the release is 1-year-old Maria Perez, who they call Delilah.
It's Tata.
Delilah is not the only kid he had with Martinez. He had twin sons who are 3 months old.
Angry. I mean, what else do you feel when your loved one's gone, you know, especially someone you had kids with?
Police say there was a fight in the home prior to the shooting. Martinez says guns are not the answer.
Stop the gun violence. We have gun violence in Lubbock all the time. It's every day.
She says the family will remember him as a ray of sunshine who made everyone's day brighter.
The whole room lit up when he was around. His smile lit up the whole world, if you ask me.
Patricia Perez, KCBD News Channel 11.